Alright, so here's what's up. I Yesterday I recorded a playthrough of Iron Lung. I played Iron Lung for the first time. It was really fucking fun. I had like a whole setup and everything with like I played at midnight. I had like the lights off and like it was like really cool. And I had like a really cool like 2 hour like playthrough. And it was fun as hell and everything. And so this morning I wanted to like start recording. I wanted to start editing my recording. And so for some fucking reason, OBS decided to just not record my microphone, which is really fucking awesome. I want to fucking shoot this computer. I have no idea why it's so annoying sometimes. Like this is the second, like the one time I'm like really happy with recording. I feel like I've had like a lot of fun doing that, and I was really excited to edit it, and it just like decided to just not record my microphone at all. And like I tested this morning, it instantly worked. I'm not sure what happened. I'm going to assume that like it just stopped detecting my microphone right before I hit recording, and I didn't notice. And so my entire recording is just like it's just busted because I'm just sitting there talking, but not a single sound comes out of my mouth. And honestly, I don't know, man. I think what I'm gonna do, yeah, I can't really upload this in the, like the way I intended. I was like really excited to edit this down into like a 1 hour thing, right? Put it up as like a kind of like a full playthrough. But I can't really do that because now I'm not saying anything, and you're just looking at me like crashing my fucking submarine and shit, while there's not a single peep coming from my mouth. So I thought I might just do like a spontaneous review or something here. Give me a second. So like, because I wanted to talk about this game really quick. Dude, okay, first off, I really enjoyed it. I was like really hooked. It's crazy because this game is like very simple. Like the thing is, with Iron Lung, like 90% of what you do is just okay, maybe I should start by talking about like the story, I guess. In case people don't know it, although I'm pretty sure you do. But okay, so essentially the story goes as follows. You're a prisoner of some kind of war between two space stations, and you're tasked with exploring a blood ocean on some like deserted moon somewhere in the universe. And the reason you're doing this is because one, there's like multiple points of interest in that blood ocean that you're supposed to photograph, and two, because you're a prisoner, they're kind of hoping that you're gonna like die down there, that your fucking submarine is gonna combust. So that's like the two things. That's kind of like the main plot. Like there's a lot more to the lore and story. There's like this whole thing of like, what's it, the Quiet Rapture, where like every major planet with like life on it just disappeared. That's kind of like the whole backstory. And the only people that remained were space stations. That's leading to like the like war or like conflict between multiple space stations, which which leads to like you becoming a prisoner. But I don't really like. I don't know. I could talk about the plot more, but there's a good chance you already know it, or also there's a good chance you might want to play it yourself. So I'm not gonna say much more because there's a lot more that you can find in the game, technically. But let's talk about the game itself. So honestly, again, like the gameplay is pretty simple. So again, you're in a submarine and you're supposed to navigate to certain points in like an underwater, like in like a big ocean or like lake or whatever. And so you have to what you have to navigate is you have a map of the ocean, and then you have the map shows you like the coordinates of the spots you have to go to, and then in your ship you have like basic controls to go forwards and backwards and to rotate your ship. So that's all you have to move, and then now you have to navigate to those coordinates. And oh yeah, you also have like a sort of like a radar or something that shows you like that like warns you if you're like very close to like some object or a wall. And it will start, and it will be like a dot that will start blinking if you get too close to something. But generally, like that's all you have to navigate. Well, not quite. I forgot. There's a camera. We're gonna talk about the camera in a second. But yeah, let's just talk about like the first point you navigate to. It's pretty simple. Let me pull up the map real quick. So the first point you navigate to is like you start off in the bottom left corner of the map, if I'm not mistaken, and so you like navigate the ship up, you rotate it like 90 degrees, and then you navigate to the east, and then you go down slightly, and that's where your first point of interest is. Now what you have to do is you have to align your ship with the coordinates of that point, and you have to like make sure you have the right angle. What you do then is you take a picture. You have a single camera on your ship, on the front of the ship, that you can. That's like your only way to even see the outside at all. Like everything is sealed off. I should have mentioned that. Everything is sealed off in your ship, so you can take a photograph of like what's in front, directly in front of you, and if you photograph a point of interest, it gets marked as down on your map, and you can move to the next one. But you can also use the camera later on to like navigate slightly. It can be helpful when you're trying to pass through more narrow spaces, I guess. And there's some other stuff to it. Yeah, that's kind of like the main thing you do. So there's 10 of these points. Yeah, some points are harder to reach than others. Some are like right next to each other and it's really easy. Then there's some who are like in like more sealed off areas, I guess, of the ocean. So there's like a very small path you have to like squeeze yourself through, where it's really likely that you're gonna crash into the wall, which happened to me a few times. If you crash, you die and you get sent back to a previous safe state, which usually you lose about like 5 minutes of progress, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, so like you photograph different things. Some of them are like weird bone structures. Other things are like buildings. There's like a thing that looks like a building front, like a, you know, like some like concrete, some like you know, like the average like city building, like some concrete like cube with like windows, I guess, like some building front. Anyways, and then what else is there? That's kind of the main thing you do. And so there's 10 of these spots. Once you've reached the 9th spot, oh yeah, one of them is like some weird like I've watched some videos about it after playing the game. One of these spots is like some weird like bright light, which people refer to as a portal, which is kind of interesting. But yeah, so you navigate to these points, and while you do that, like you'll notice that like every once in a while, like at the beginning, it's very subtle. There's like every once in a while, there's like randomly like your radar will like show something right behind you, like out of nowhere without you even moving, which is like impossible for that to be just like a static wall. So like clearly there's something moving around your like either following you or just like swimming around your ship, your submarine every once in a while. And like over time, like it becomes more frequent, and then like eventually it will just like eventually some of them you will notice something is like bumping into your submarine. It's like actively like hitting your submarine. And now you kind of have the problem of like you're kind of you kind of like sitting like an old fucking decrepit submarine that's gonna break. You know, like over time, like this like there's like different valves that you like start like releasing like what's it like steam out of nowhere. Every like I had my playthrough, I had like it happened that I had to like pull up there's a fire extinguisher behind you, and you have to like extinguish fire at some point. It happened to me once. Apparently other people have it multiple times. It depends on the playthrough, I think. But yeah, once you get to like, so usually the last point you would get to in the game is in the top I'd say top right corner of the map. That's usually the last one you get to. It's also the hardest one. And like once you're on your way there, like there's like a small squeeze you have to go through. And when you're in there, like the like attacks from what's hunting you down become like super frequent, and like your submarine starts filling up with blood and stuff. And like yeah, you're noticing like you're not gonna have much time left. Like your oxygen is almost depleted, which is also a thing that happens over time. Your oxygen goes down. I think it's scripted though. I don't think it's like fixed. I think it's scripted. So it goes down, and then yeah, like the very end. I guess it's a kind of like a spoiler, but at the very end, like once you reach the last spot and you take a picture, like oh yeah, on your way to the last spot, like when you take a picture in that like tight squeeze where your boat starts filling up with, or right before it starts filling up with blood, if you take a picture, there's like you can see like a massive fish eye looking directly at your camera, or like some like yeah, some massive eye. I don't even think it's necessarily a fish eye, but just like some massive eye, you know. And then once you're at the last spot, you align your ship, and you turn around, you get jump scared, and there's like this like massive fish like coming at you, and then you die, and that's the game. So yeah, I think Iron Lung, what I'm trying to get at is like, I think the concept is really simple, but I was like really hooked. Like it's surprisingly fun to navigate to these spots and like align yourself. I wouldn't say it's the scariest game. I was a little bit scared every once in a while, but I wouldn't say that I was like shitting myself scared. Like it was like, you know, it's like intermediate scary, but like I think I like that because I'm kind of a pussy when it comes to horror games. I tend to get like scared easily, and I was playing this in the middle of the night, which like elevates that like 10 times. So it's not the scariest game. It's a little bit spooky. I think the atmosphere is pretty good though. You have like a lot of like ambient sounds, like you can hear kind of like, you can actually hear the creature around you every once in a while, like in the distance, or like you can hear like something is around you, you know, you can hear there's something. I like the way the lore is presented too. There is like, you know, you get like a brief exposition at the start, and then like in your submarine you have like a terminal with like a small database that you can search for certain terms. And you can read some like entries in there about like the moon you're at, about the Rapture, there's some space stations, the unit of measurement the game uses for certain like years and events, to measure like certain like time periods, and like some extra like just general lore without going into it too much. And I like that. That was cool. I felt really smart when I discovered that, because like the game doesn't necessarily like give you like a hint right away. You just kind of like the way I did it, I just like looked, I was like, huh, terminal, you can probably enter something in here. I just entered Iron Lung, and from there you get like more and more entries, because like things you can entries you can look at are like marked yellow in the text, and like when you enter them into the command line, like it gives you info on them. That's pretty cool. I like stuff like, I like when I do it like that. It feels like you're actually like discovering the stuff instead of just reading like some like text someone just like slapped up, right? Someone's just like put in front of you, if that makes sense. Yeah, I like the lore. The lore is, I mean, there's not a ton of it. Really, what I told you is kind of all you know. Like the quiet rapture of like the planets disappearing, then the like space stations have remained, the like fights between them, then the fact that you're a convict or like a prisoner of like one of those fights, and then now you're like lowered into this ocean of blood because they just like find it interesting. There's an ocean of blood, or it's supposedly human blood, on some random moon. And that's not the only moon with an ocean of blood. There's like other ones in this universe. I think this is like the 4th one or so. I think there's like 3 other ones that we like briefly hear about, but that's kind of it. And so yeah, your goal is just to like take some photographs, and they kind of like hope that you die in the process because they think you kind of evil. That's kind of the character you play as, I guess, and they don't really mind if you die. There is some like hidden content I didn't find myself. There's like you can find the remains of a previous submarine that was down there with you, and then there's like some other like hidden thing on the map that produces some loud ass sound when you get close to it. But I'm not gonna talk about that too much because it didn't really affect my gameplay because my playthrough, because I didn't find those on mine because they're hidden like on the top right corner of the map, right after you like die. Usually, like where most people would die because they've finished all the points, all the points of interest. But yeah, that was me yapping about Iron Lung for like 15 odd minutes. Really good game. I want to play more by David Szymanski. Really fun. I'm kind of sad and like disappointed I couldn't like turn this into a proper video because my microphone audio wasn't picked up. But it's like whatever, man. Like next video I'm gonna be more careful about that. Next time I record something like this, I wanna play some more David Szymanski games. Because he has like, he just released a new one, which I actually bought. I have that in my Steam library. I might play that within the coming days. And Squirrel Stapler. The new one's called like Butcher's Creek, and then there's an older one called Squirrel Stapler. And I'm currently trying to look at his other games, but the fucking page won't load. So whatever. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that though. Thank you if you've watched this far. Like I wouldn't expect you to, but thank you if you did.